I just got back from Las Vegas where I was recording 6 episodes on Jobber's podcast, Masters of Home Service. And we were talking about things like AI search, email marketing, generating additional estimates on service jobs, uncovering your customers' problems. And I documented on my flight back. I was like, okay, what exactly are my takeaways from this conversation? And what did I learn? And so that's what this video is about, is just the takeaways from these conversations. It was me and also business owners of 7-figure home service businesses discussing these topics, which I love it because I obviously used to be at a home service business, but now I help home service businesses, and it's cool for me to be able to see real life, like what's going on in these businesses and talk to them about these strategies. All right, so the first thing that we uncovered, I was on a podcast with this guy, Anthony Salazar, who owns a poop scooping business out in Utah, and we were talking about uncovering customers' problems, and he dropped a gem, and I literally was like, oh my gosh, dude, like this is fire. Like even later that night, we were out to dinner with someone else, and I told him, I was like, man, this was a fire thing. So we were talking about how do you uncover customers' problems. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can do this. You can listen to your call recordings. You can take your call recordings and plug them into ChatGPT and get all your customer problems. You can go back through and look at your frequently asked questions, talk to your CSR, your salespeople, whatever. There's a bunch of ways. But this one in particular stuck out to me. He said, well, if you want to know your customers' problems, go to your competitors' 1-star reviews and read their 1-star reviews. That's your customer's problems, specifically the customer's issue with the service that you offer. And so you can create content around solving that problem that they face. So in his example, he does poop scooping. It's like you leave the door open, you don't, remove everything. So you talk about how you solve this problem. And, for me, I can go and look at other people's stuff and say, hey, what are the issues that people are having? And then talk about how we solve these problems. It's just a great way to know what's going on in the industry and what are people having issues with other people's service, and then create content on that. The second takeaway that I had was I was on a call with with the host, and he owns a 7-figure gutter cleaning and installation company. And we were talking about generating additional estimates for your business. So you go on service calls. How do you, generate additional big ticket estimates on top of those service calls? But the last strategy that we talked about was if you do next day calls or happy calls, which is after the service is completed, have someone call them and say, hey, Phil, Flash Consulting, Adam was there last week or yesterday, and he did your cleaning. Just want to check in and see how everything went. That's a happy call. But what most people miss is the sales opportunity. And what we talked about was when you go out onto the job site, you need to remove the technician blinders. And the way that you do that is you create a checklist for them. So it's not just go in and clean the gutters. It's do a complete analysis of their drainage system, their gutter system, if they need gutter guards, their fascia, anything else that you might do on a specific service. For HVAC, it's like, hey, do you have any hot or cold rooms in your home? What's the airflow like in this vent? And what's the dryness or humidity like? And you're trying to uncover opportunities, potentially upsell, but also solve the customer's problem while you're there. Well, with these happy calls, it's okay if you have your CSR do it, but don't miss the sales opportunity, which is how was Phil when he was out there? By the way, I saw that he noted on here that you had an issue with your humidity. Tell me a little bit more about what's going on with your situation, because I think I might have a solution that we implemented with one of your neighbors' houses that helps solve that problem. Now you start to talk, and then you say, hey, let me just send over a couple different options of how I think this might be able to solve your problem. Does that sound good? Yeah. And now you're creating estimates off of real needs, and you're creating estimates off these service calls. And what he usually was doing was just having a customer service rep call them and be like, how did the service go? Good. Okay, well, we're here for you if you need anything. Missed sales opportunity. And he was like, oh my gosh, he literally had to stop the podcast in the middle and be like, write this down, make sure that I do this, because it's a huge unlock that most people miss. All right. The third thing, another unlock, it was me and the host again, was with AI search and video content. And I made a video about future-proofing your business on AI search. But in particular, a lot of business owners, specifically, I would say if they're, well, in general, most business owners, they don't think social media is going to be a driver of leads. So they don't do social media. And I used to be the exact same way. I would say, okay, well, 1, people on social media, they're just tire kickers or price shoppers. 2, is someone going to see a video and then contact me? That's more demand gen, where I'm looking for people that need my service and they're on Google searching for a company and they're going to just contact me and do the service. That is the old way of thinking. And that was what I used to think. The new way of thinking is that these large language models, AI search, they are trained on content. The number one way that you can train these AI search results, large language models, is by feeding them content that you're the subject matter expert and authority. It's not just about creating a post so that you go viral. It's not just creating content to do branding. It's literally to future-proof your business from AI search. And when we unlock that in the conversation, you could see that his mind shifted in the conversation and how he thought about social media, because it's not just the old school way of thinking, it's the new school way of thinking. And to take this even further is building these AI avatars. In the future, I would say like next year or two, I already have one of an AI avatar of myself that's been trained on over 5,000 hours. Literally, it's like 1,000 minutes of content or 1 million minutes of content that I've created this content, that now I have this library that I can train this AI avatar to answer things as if I was going to answer it, to talk exactly how I'm going to talk about it. And guess what? Our team can literally ask it any question. If I'm out, they just ask it. And we had this happen when I was out in Las Vegas. One of our team members got an email and he kind of knew the answer to it, but he said, let me just see what Phil would say. He plugged it in. I saw his email response. I slacked him. I was like, dude, money. And he's like, yeah, I pretty much had the gist of it, but some of the things that you put in your AI avatar helped me clean it up. And I'm like, okay, perfect. So this is exactly how it works. This is why social media content is not just likes, viral, comments, maybe customers. It's so much more about creating content, so that way when you want to deploy these things, you have that backlog of content to let it fly. All right, and then the last one was a quick win if you're slow. So I was on a podcast with a plumbing company out in Arizona, and he was talking about in June and July, that's their slow months out there. And he was like, we try to do more demand gen. We go on Facebook, try to create some demand, and we're just in this really slow period. So we do these email blasts that we send out with promos and offers, which is good. I always talk about that. But in the podcast, I said, hey, don't just send them promos. Go back through all of your estimates that didn't close. Take all the people that did not close as estimates and send them an email and say, hey, were you able to solve your hot water heater problem? Hey, were you able to solve this leaky faucet? Hey, were you able to solve fill in the blank with problem that your solution would solve? And they might say, I wasn't able to. And you could even spice it up a little bit and say, we currently have a 10% off promo going on in June. If you wanted to get this work done, it would be a discounted rate for you as well. And we can have someone out there tomorrow. Sending those emails out when you're slow, specifically on people that you already gave an estimate to, that maybe they didn't take action right away. Maybe they got it solved. And it's like, no, I don't need this, but I need something else. Whatever it is, you already have the opportunities sitting in your CRM. You just haven't followed up with them in maybe 6 months or a year. So take all the ones in the past year and send this out to them. Those are the 4 big unlocks. I'm curious to get your thoughts on the AI search thing, on the customer problems thing, or anything else that I talked about that you're curious on, or maybe you have 2 cents on. So drop a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.